Hello everyone, you are welcome to Mathematics Tour. In this video, I'll solve the whole 21 questions in paper 2-1 written in May, June 2023. I have previously solved the components 2-2 and 2-3 respectively. If you are seeing this channel for the first time, please kindly subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell to receive notification anytime I upload a new video. Comment, like, and share this video. Let's jump into the first question. CDE is a straight line. Find angle ADE. Angle ADE is this angle here, and this angle ADE is on a straight line with angle ADC, that is this angle. So I can label this X. So once you get the value of angle X, then you can subtract it from 180 degrees. That will give you the value of angle ADE. So first, let's calculate the value of angle X. So we know that sum of angles in any quadrilateral is 360 degrees. So we can say X, add 71, add 56, add 104 to be equals to 360 degrees. So these three angles add up to 231. So you can have X, add 231 to be equals to 360 degrees. So if you collect like times, 231 goes to the right hand side and becomes negative. So we can have X equals to 360 degrees, subtract 231, then X is equals to 129 degrees. So the value of this angle is 129 degrees. Then we know that angle ADE, the required angle, and angle X, that is 129 degrees, add up to 180 degrees because they are both angles on a straight line. So I can easily say 180 subtract 129, that will be 51 degrees. So the required angle ADE is equals to 51 degrees. Question 2. A train journey starts at 21:43, that's in 24-hour time. Okay, so it takes 8 hours and 32 minutes. Find the time the journey finishes. So what you can do here is to write the hour and the minute here. Okay, so you put 21 here and 43 here. You can easily add 8 hours 32 minutes to get the time the journey finishes. So 8 hours here and 32 minutes here. So if you add 43 minutes to 32 minutes, that will give you 75 minutes. But of course, you cannot put down 75 here because it's more than the necessary minutes. You cannot go beyond 59 minutes here. So you have 75 minutes. Then you can subtract 60 minutes. So if you subtract 60 minutes here, you're going to have 1 hour 15 minutes. So that means 75 minutes is the same as 1 hour 15 minutes. So you can write the 15 minutes here and keep an hour. So you have 21 add 8, that is 29. 21 plus the one you kept, that is 30. So you have 30 hours. So of course you cannot put down 30 hours here because it's more than a day. So to get the necessary time here, so you subtract 24 hours from 30. If you do that, that will give you 6 hours. So that means you have 6:15 a.m. or in 24-hour time it will be 0615. Okay, so you can either put 0615 or 6:15 a.m. That is the following day. Let's go to the next question. The diagram shows a straight line intersecting two parallel lines. Find the values of A and the value Find the value of A and the value of B, giving a geometrical reason for each answer. So A is equals to 58. So the reason being vertically opposite angles, vertically opposite angle. Then if you look at B and A are both interior angles, so we refer to them as co-interior angles. Okay, so that means, and we know that co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. That means A is already 58, add B, that will be 180 degrees. So B will definitely be 122. So the value of B is equals to 122 degrees, and the reason will be interior angle, okay, or co-interior angle. So let's write interior angle. So that is the solution to that question. Let's go to the next question. That is question 4. By writing each number in the calculation correct to one significant figure, work out an estimate for the value of this. So 6.7 to one significant figure will be 7. Then multiply by 2.1 to one significant figure will be 2. Then everything over 18 to one significant figure will be 20. Then 5.9 to one significant figure will be 6. 7 multiplied by 2 gives 14 over 20 subtract 6, that will be 14 as well. So this will give you a whole. So that means the answer is 1. The next question is question 5. Eric has 4 colors of paint. The table shows the probability that he uses each color. So find the value of X. We know that the sum of the probabilities must add up to, the probabilities add up to 1. So you can easily get the value of X when you subtract the sum of 0.3, 0.35, 0.13 from 1. So that will give you the value of X. So X will be equals to 1 subtract. We can firstly add these numbers together. 0.3 add 0.35 add 0.13. Then you have 1 subtract. The sum of these will be 0.78, and your answer will be 0.22. So the value of X is 0.22. Question 6. Calculate the value of a sphere with diameter 4.8 centimeters. The volume V of a sphere with radius R is given as this. So to get the volume, we need to get the value of R, which is the radius, and that is 4.8 divided by 2. So the radius is 2.4 centimeters. And of course, we know that pi is a constant. Let's take it to be 3.14. So let's key in the values. V will be equals to 4 out of 3 times pi 3.14 times the radius 2.4 cube. Okay, so this will give us 4 out of 3 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 2.4 to the power of 3 gives 13.82. So if you multiply all of these, that will give you 173.63. That's the numerator. This one is over 1. This one is over 1 here. Then everything over 3 times 1, which is 3. And the final answer will be 57.9. That is to 3 significant figures. 57.9 cube centimeters. Question 7. The scale of a map is 1:125,000. On a map, the length of an island is 9.4 centimeters. Calculate the actual length of the island, giving your answer in kilometers. So we can write the map ratio the actual reading, then we know that we have 1 to 125,000. Then we have 9.4 centimeters. We want to get the actual value of these 9.4 centimeters. Of course, we know that this was multiplied by 9.4. To get this, you need to do the same thing to the right hand side by multiplying 125,000 by 9.4, and that will give you 1,175,000 as the actual value here, but in centimeters. But we are asked to leave the answer in kilometers. So using the usual acronym, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. So if you have seen my previous videos, so this shouldn't be new to you. So the B stands for the base, where you have the meters, we have the liters, and we have the grams. So in this case, we are dealing with meters. So C is your centimeters. So we want to move from centimeters to kilometers. So let's count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we need 5 zeros. So we can convert it to kilometers by dividing by this 1, then 5 zeros. That will be 100,000. So to convert 1,175,000 centimeters to kilometers, so you divide by 100,000. So you don't need to memorize this. Once you understand and you can recollect the acronym, you are always good to go. So if you do this, this will give you 11.75 kilometers. Let's go to the next question. That will be question 8a. The nth term of a sequence is 10 subtract n to the power of 2. Write down the first 3 terms of this sequence. So that is, you need to get the value of this expression when n is equals to 1, when n is equals to 2, and when n is equals to 3 respectively. So what you need to do is to substitute each of these values here, and you get the corresponding terms. Okay, so when n is 1, so you have 10 subtract 1 squared. 1 squared remains 1, and that will be 9. When n is 2, you have 10 subtract 2 to the power of 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. Then 10 subtract 4, that will be 6. That is the second term. When n is 3, you have 10 subtract 3 to the power of 2. 3 to the power of 2 is 9. Then 10 subtract 9 is 1. So these are the first 3 terms of this sequence. 9, 6, and 1 respectively. The part B, these are the first 4 terms of another sequence, 7, 10, 13, and 16. Find an expression for the nth term of this sequence. Okay, so if you look at this, we have 7, 10, 13, and 16. So we have 10 subtract 7, 3. 13 subtract 10, that will be 3. Then 16 subtract 13, that will also be 3. So at the first difference, we have common difference. That implies that this is a linear sequence or arithmetic progression. So that means we can multiply the 3, the common difference, by n, because n is always to the power of 1, simply because this is a linear sequence. Had it been you have a quadratic sequence, that would have been a to the power of 2. So now let's try to form a sequence, okay, by using 3n. Let's see if we're going to get this sequence. So when n is 1, you have 3 times 1, 3. When n is 2, 3 times 2, we have 6. When n is 3, we have 3 by 3, we have 9. And when n is equals to 4, we have 3 by 4, that will be 12. So let's compare this new sequence with the given sequence. You see that in the new sequence, we have 3 and the given sequence is 4. That means we are short of 4. So 10 and 6, we are also short of 4. 13 and 9, we are also short of 4. 16 and 12, we are also short of 4. So that implies that 3n is not the nth term. So for us to get the nth term, so we need to add 4 to this 3n. Then that will be the nth term for this sequence. So that means we have 3n add 4, because when we use 3n, we were short of 1. Now, if you add 4, then it will be balanced, okay? So we have 3 times 1, 3, 3 plus 4, 7. That's when n is 1, so this is correct. When n is 2, 3 times 2, 6. 6 add 4, that will be 10. So that means the nth term is 3n plus 4. Let's go to the next question. That will be question 9. So we have two similar shapes. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Calculate the value of h. So we can take the ratio of the corresponding sides, and that will give us the solution to this question. So the order you start is very important. You can start from triangle ABC or triangle DEF. So I'm going to start from triangle DEF. So I'll take this side, DF, that is, the value is h, over the corresponding side in the second triangle will be AC, and the value is what? 5.6. So this is the ratio of corresponding sides, okay? So let's take another corresponding sides. So the ratio of another corresponding sides, so we're going to have this now, EF and then BC. So since I started from triangle DEF, so I will take 8.1 first. 8.1 ratio 7.2. So we need to solve this to get the value of x. So if you cross multiply, we're going to have h multiplied by 7.2 to be equals to 8.1 multiplied by 5.6. So this will give 7.2h equals to, the product of this will give you 45.36. Then finally we can divide both sides by 7.2 to get the value of the h. So that will be h equals to 6.3. If you divide 45.36 by 7.2, so that will give you 6.3 centimeters. So that is the value of h. So the next question will be question 10. Without using a calculator, work out 2 whole 1 out of 7 divided by 5 out of 9. You must show all your working and give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So let's write 2 whole 1 out of 7 as an improper fraction. That will be 7 by 2, 14. 14 add 1, that will be 15 over 7. Then divided by 5 over 9. Next, we change the sign of division to multiplication. And when that happens, we flip 5 out of 9 to 9 out of 5. So we're going to have 15 over 7 multiplied. Then we flip this, 9 over 5. 5 here once, 5 goes in 5 3 times. So we are left with 3 by 9 out of 7. 3 by 9 is 27 out of 7. Then 7 goes in 27. That is 3 times, as 7 times 3 gives 21. So we are left with 6 out of 7. So the final answer here is 3 whole number 6 out of 7. The next question is question 11. Describe the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. So this is triangle A, this is triangle B. Of course, it is clear that this is enlargement. Okay, so that's the name of the transformation. And if you look at it, the scale factor will be times 2. Because if this is 1, so 2 times 1 will give you 2. So if this is 2, then 2 times 2 will give you 4. So that is obvious. So we have the name of the transformation to be enlargement, the scale factor to be 2, and we need to get center of enlargement. To get center of enlargement, we need to join corresponding points from the two shapes. So let me erase the numbers. So the shape A can be labeled P, Q, and R. So the corresponding point will be P prime. So this will be Q prime, and this will be R prime for the image. So now we need to join P and P prime together, Q and Q prime together, and R prime together. Of course, once you join 2 points together, okay, that is sufficient for you to get the point of enlargement. Okay, so let's do that and I'll show you the results. So if you join the corresponding points from the object and the image respectively, you see that they all meet here. So that is x equals to 0, y equals to 7. So that is the center of enlargement. So we can go down and write the transformation here, okay, to describe the single transformation here. So the first one is enlargement. That is the name of the transformation, enlargement. So so scale factor, let's say that is 2. Okay, then center of enlargement, the center is x equals to 0, y equals to 7. Then the B part, triangle, describe the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. So this is triangle A here and this is triangle C. So of course this is obvious again. So this is rotation, because this side will be R prime prime now. So this is R prime prime and this will be P prime prime, and this edge here will be Q prime prime. So you can see that the object A or shape A was turned clockwise, and I think this is about 90 degrees. We can figure out that. Okay, so it is crystal clear to us now that this is rotation. So to describe it fully, we need to know the name of the transformation, we need to know center of rotation, and we need to know the direction, that is the angle and the direction. So we've got only one, that is the name of the transformation, which is rotation. So the next thing is to get the center of rotation. So to get the center of rotation, I'm going to join two corresponding points together, that is R and R prime prime, and bisect it. I'll also take another corresponding point, probably let's say P and P prime prime. I will also bisect it. So where the two perpendicular bisector lines meet will be the center of rotation. If you have seen my previous solutions, I've done something like this several times there. So I will just draw the bisection of the two lines, and where they meet will be the center of rotation. So far, I have joined the corresponding points R and R prime prime together. I have also joined P and P prime prime together. So I'm going to bisect them respectively, and where the two perpendicular bisector lines meet will be the center of rotation. The two broken lines are the perpendicular bisector lines of the two broken lines are the perpendicular bisectors. So you can see that is they are very close to one another, and the point where the two perpendicular bisector meet one another is x equals to 3, y equals to 1. This is very close. So you can equally bisect the line joining Q and Q prime prime together. Okay, you see that it will pass through this point, x equals to 3 and y equals to 1. So now I can fully describe the transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. So the name of the transformation is rotation. The name of the transformation is rotation. So the center of rotation is x. The center of rotation is x equals to 3 and y equals to 1. Okay, and then the direction of rotation is 90 degrees clockwise. So that is what you need to do. And if you have a tracing paper, that can easily help you. But if you don't have a tracing paper, there's no cause for alarm. You can always use this method. For me, I prefer this method and I don't need to depend on a tracing paper. So let's go to the next question. Question 12a. AO, OB, and OC are all radii of the circle. AB is equals to BC as shown here. Therefore, triangle AOB is a congruent to triangle COB. Draw a ring around the correct criterion for these statements. So if you compare the two triangles, the two shapes, you see that AB and BC are equal as we were told. Also, OB is common to the two triangles. Then OA and OC are equal because they are both radii. So that means we can pick this. This will be the corresponding criterion. So similar sides. So let's go to 12b. P, Q, R, and S are points on the circle, and T, Q, U is a tangent to the circle at point Q. PR and SQ intersect at the center of the circle O, and PQ is parallel to SR. Angle RQU is equal to 42 degrees. That is, the angle between the tangent and this chord is 42 degrees. So calculate Roman figure 1, angle QSR. So angle QSR will be equals to 42 degrees. QSR, it will be 42 degrees. How? This will be 42 degrees because this and this are angles in the same segment. It will also be 42 degrees. And how do we know that this one is 40? No, that's a bad approach. Let's mark angle QSR. It will be QSR. This is the required angle. So, but we know that this angle and angle QPR, they are in the same segment. So we know that these two angles are in the same segment. So once we know angle QPR, so we are going to get the required angle QSR. So if you look at this, angle QPR is alternate segment to this angle 42 degrees, okay? That is the angle between this chord QR and the tangent Q and the tangent TQU. That's this angle 42 degrees is in alternate segment to this angle QPR. So I can put 42 degrees here. So this will also be 42 degrees. So I can say the value of angle QSR is 42 degrees. Then we want to find the value of angle PQS. So let's mark it PQS. So this will be this angle here. Okay. So this is obvious. This will also be 42 degrees. Okay, it will be 42 degrees. Why? So this triangle POQ is an isosceles triangle. So the base angles are equal. So that is one way of getting it. Another way is to say PQ and SR are parallel lines. Okay, so if you look at this angle at point S here and angle at point Q here, they are what? They are alternate angles. So that is another way you can get the value of angle PQS. So I'll put 42 degrees here. Then find the value of angle POS. POS. So that is this angle. Okay, so to do this, you need to find the angles here, here, and here. Of course, if this angle is X, this will be x, that is vertically opposite angles. So it is easy for us to find this angle. Let's call this angle y. Of course, this will also be angle y. So we can find the value of angle y. So these are vertically opposite angles as well. So to calculate the value of y, so add 42 to 42, okay, that will give you 84. Then subtract 84 from 180. So if you subtract 84 from 180, you will get 96. So that is the value of y. So we know that these four angles add up to 360 degrees because they are angles at a point. So I can easily say the two values. So I can easily say 96 add 96. So that is for this and this, and I have plus x for this and this. So they add up to 360 degrees. Okay, so if you add 96 to 96, you get 192. Add 2x equals to 360 degrees. Collect like times, so that means 2x will be equals to 360 degrees. Subtract 192. You have 2x to be equals to 168, and if you divide both sides by 2, you have x to be equals to 84. Okay, so that is one way of getting your answer here, and you can easily do something interesting. There is a theorem, okay, that says the exterior angle of a triangle is equals to the sum of two opposite interior angles, two interior opposite angles. There's a theorem that says the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to sum of the two interior opposite angles. Okay, so since angle x here, this particular one, is an exterior angle, okay, to triangle PQO. Okay, so the value of x will be sum of these 42 degrees and these 42 degrees. So that will give you the value of your answer that will give you the answer immediately, and you can now say that, okay, if this place is 84, so the required angle, which is vertically opposite, will also be 84. I think that is pretty easy when you know the theorem, instead of you adding the four angles together. Okay, so that will be the solution to that question. So the next question will be question 13. Anya invests 6,000 in an account that pays compound interest at a rate of 0.5% per year. At the end of 8 years, the account has earned $621.70 in interest. Calculate the value of R. Okay, so here we know that the principal, that is P, will be equals to $6,000. Okay, and the rate, that's R, equals to R%, which is the same thing as R divided by 100. So that will give us 0.01 R. Then the time T is equals to 8 years, and the interest is paid once in a year. So that means N is equals to 1, and we have the interest, the sum of the interest, to be equals to $621.70. Okay, so we want to get the value of R. Of course, we know that there's a formula giving us A equals to P into 1 plus R over N into N times T. So we need to get the amount. Once we get to the amount, then we can now plug in the values here. But we also know that amount is equals to the principal plus the sum of the interest. So in this case, we know that the principal is already $6,000 and the interest is $621.70. So if you add the two together, so the amount will be equals to $6,621.70. So we can now plug in all the values here and solve for r. So the amount is $6,621.70 equals to the principal is 6,000 into 1 plus r is equals to 0.01 r, and the value of n is 1, so it's of no use here. Everything raised to the power of what? N times 1, raised to the power of 1 times 8, that will be 8. Okay, so we can easily divide both sides by 6,000 here, 6,000 here, so that this we cancel this. So if you divide 6,621.70 by 6,000, you get 1.1036 to be equals to 1 plus 0.01 r to the power of 8. So this one is raised to the power of 1. Okay, so now we want this power of 8 to disappear, so we'll multiply the powers by 1 out of 8 here, and we do the same thing here, multiply by 1 out of 8. So if you do that, this 8 cancel this 8 here, you are left with 1.1036 to the power of 1 over 8. That's what we have here. You can put a bracket here, then to be equals to 1 plus 0.01 r. So if you input this into your calculator, okay, so this will give you 1.0124 to be equals to 1 plus 0.01 then r. So if you collect like times, you have 1.0124 subtract 1, then we are left with 0.01 r. So if you subtract 1 from this, you'll be left with 0. So let me demarcate this. So you'll be left with 0.0124 to be equals to 0.01 r. Finally, divide both sides by 0.01, then 0.01 here. So this will cancel this, we are left with r. If you divide this by this, you get 1.24. So that means the rate is 1.24. So let's go to the next question. That will be question 14. Question 14, y is directly proportional to the square of x plus 3 when x equals to 2, y equals to 5. Find y when x equals to 1. So firstly, we need to interpret this. So y varies directly as the square of x add 3. We need to replace this sign of proportionality with a constant and equal to. So that will be y equal to, let's use k into x plus 3 squared. So we can call this equation 1. Then we need to substitute the values of x and y to find the value of k. So we know that x equals to 2 and y equals to 5. So we have 5 equals to k into 2 add 3. You have squared here. So 5 is equals to k into 5 squared. And we can say that k so 5 equals to 25k. So if you divide both sides by 25, then you have the value of k to be equals to 1 out of 5. Then we can now substitute the value of k into equation 1. So that means we're going to have y is equals to 1 over 5 into x plus 3, everything squared. Now we can easily find the value of y when x equals to 1. So that means y is equals to 1 out of 5 into 1 plus 3, everything squared. Then we have y equals to 1 over 5. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 squared equals to 16. So this is what we have here. So we have y to be equals to 16 over 5. Then finally, if you divide 16 by 5, you have 3.2. So that means the value of y when x is equals to 1 is 3.2. Let's go to the next question. That is question 15. A bag contains 5 green buttons, 2 blue buttons, and 6 white buttons. Maya takes 2 buttons at random from the bag without replacement. Calculate the probability that one button is green and the other button is not green. Okay, so let's denote the green buttons by G. So let the green button be G. You have G to be equals to 5, and then the blue button B equals to 2, and the white button W equals to 6. So the total here is equals to 13. That's the total equals to 13. That is 5 add 2, 7, 7 add 6, 13. So calculate the probability that one button is green and the other button is not green. So that means we could have the first one to be green and the second one can never be green. So it is either blue, or the first one is green and the second one is white. Of course, so we have to multiply this by 2 because we have 2 ways. Okay, so this can be green blue and it can be blue green. So this can be green white and it can be green white. So that is why we are multiplying by 2. So don't forget that the probability is done without replacement. So let's pick the first one for green. That will be 5 out of 13. Now we are short of 1. So let's pick from blue. That will be 2 times 2 out of 12 because you have selected 1. Okay, so then all means addition plus, let's pick from green again. That will be 5 out of 13. Then multiplied by from white, that will be 6 out of 12. So that is the second one. So all these should be multiplied by 2. Okay, so you need to take your calculator and work out this. So if you do the first one, 5 times 2 will be 10 over 12 times 13. That will be 156. Then add 5 times 6, you have 30 again, over 13 times 12, that will be 156. Then everything multiplied by 2. So since the fractions have the same denominator, so you can add the numerator straight away. 10 add 30, that will be 40. So that means you have 40 out of 156 multiplied by 2, and this will give you 80 out of 156. Okay, so from here 4 can go in 80 and 4 can go in 156. So my final answer will be 20, as 4 goes in 80 20 times. Then out of 39, as 4 goes in 156 39 times. Okay, so that will be the end of the solution. The next one will be question 16. Find the magnitude of the vector -4 and 5. So this implies that x equals to -4 and y equals to +5. So the formula for the magnitude is the square root of x squared add y squared. This implies that -4 squared add 5, everything under this radical. You have square root of -4 to be -4 squared is 16, then add 5 squared, I omitted square here, that will be 25. So that will be equals to square root of 41, and that is the same as 6.40. So that will be the square root of 41, 6.40. So part B, the diagram shows a triangle OAC. A is the midpoint of the straight line OB. Vector OA equals to x, and then OC is equals to y. Find the vector CB in terms of x and y. So you can easily join C and B together. So from here, let's draw a line to join this like this. So then we can now we are moving towards this direction, that is C B, from C to B. So if we write this formula using the triangle CAB, so we can say that CB, okay, the vector CB will be equals to CA add AB. So, and we know that A is the midpoint of this line OB, so that means AB will also be X, okay? We know that A is the midpoint of OB, and we are already given OA to be X. That means AB will also be X as the we know that A is the midpoint of the straight line OB, so that implies that OA and AB will be equal. Since OA is equals to X, we know that A is the midpoint of straight line OB, and we are given the value of OA to be X. That implies that AB will also be X because they are both equal. Now, since we know this, it is easy for us to find CA now. Then we plug in the result into this, then we will get the value. So we know AB to be X, so we need to find the value of CA. So let's work it out here. So the vector CA will be CO add OA, but we don't have CO, we only have OC. OC is Y, so that means we want to change the direction. It will be negative Y now, plus OA is equals to X, which could be written as X minus Y. So that is the value of CA. So let's substitute the value here. CA is equals to X minus Y, and the value of AB is X. So if you collect like times, you see that X add X, that would be 2X, then minus Y. So that implies that the vector CB is equals to 2X minus Y. So the next question is question 17. So this is indices. What you need to do here is to simplify the expression you have inside the bracket. So for this one now, you have it's 1 x to the power of 12, everything to the power of 3 over 4. So this is fractional index. So what you need to do is to write 81 as 3 to the power of 4. We have many ways of doing this, but one of the ways is to say 81 is same thing as 3 to the power of 4, then x to the power of 12, everything to the power of 3 over 4. We know that 3 to the power of 4 is meant for everything inside the bracket. So this is the same thing as 3 to the power of 4 to the power of 3 out of 4, then times x to the power of 12 times 3 out of 4. Then we have 4 cancel 4, we have 3 to the power of 3 left, then x to the power of 4 here 1, 4 in 12, 3, you have 3 times 3, that is 9. So 3 to the power of 3, that will be 27, then x to the power of 9. So this is the solution. So the next one is question 18. So we have this. The diagram shows the position of 3 towns, U, V, and W. U is due west of V, and angle UVW, that is this angle here, is 125 degrees. Calculate the bearing of U from W. Okay, so to make it clearer, we can do something like this here, and we can also draw a straight line down here. So since this is the North Pole, we can draw something like this. Also, from from V rather, we can also draw a straight line because this is passing through the west and the east. So the implication of this is that we have a right angle here that is 90 degrees, and you can easily find the angle here by the time you subtract 125 from 180 degrees. That will give you. Now the bearing of U from W will be a line, the angle from this point up to this point. So that is what we need to find. Already we know that from here to here, okay, let me divide this angle into two. So the first one is the red angle here, from here to here. Okay, that is the first part. So the second part will be this one here, from here to here. So when you add the values of these two angles, that is the red and the blue angles, so that will be the bearing of U from W. So what we need to do now is to find the value of the blue angle, which is an interior angle of this triangle. Already we know that the red angle is 180 degrees because that is angle on a straight line. So now using sine rule, we can calculate the angle here. Let me use another color. Using sine rule, we can calculate the angle here. Okay, so once we calculate the angle here, then we are pretty good to go. So let's calculate this angle. Using sine rule, 62.4 over the corresponding angle is 125. It will be sine 125. That will be equals to 27.3, and the corresponding opposite angle is angle y. Let's label this y. So it will be over sine y. So you can solve this. This will be equals to, okay, this implies 62.4 over sine 125 is so if you cross multiply, we have 60. If we cross multiply, we have 62.4 times sine y to be equals to 27.3 times sine 125. So we can divide both sides by 62.4 over 62.4. This will cancel out this. We are left with sine y to be equals to this. So if you divide, okay, I think we can, yes, you can take your calculator and input 27.3 multiplied by sine 125. So that will give you 22.3629, then divided by 62.4. So if you proceed, you will get sine y to be equals to 0.3584. Then we cannot take sine inverse of both sides, so that y will be equals to sine inverse of 0.3584, as the sine inverse will cancel out the sine by the left hand side here, so we are left with y. So the value of sine inverse of 0.3584 is 21 degrees. Okay, so now we know that the value of y is equals to 21 degrees. Okay, so I think there is one thing we could do now. We can find the value of angle u here. So once we find the value of angle u, then we can say this angle u, and let me label this angle b. Okay, so we can add angle u, angle b, and that will give us the blue angle straight away. I think that's pretty good. So I can write somewhere here. I will say that okay, angle u, that is, let's find angle u here. So it will be 180 degrees. Okay, subtract 21, subtract 125. So if we do that, that will give us 34. Okay, 34 degrees. So that means the angle u here is 34 degrees. Now I know this angle u to be 34 degrees, and this is already 90 degrees. Okay, so we can find the value of the blue angle there. Okay, so that will be, that is, we want to find the value of angle UWB. Okay, that's the blue angle. So that will be 180 minus 90 minus 34, or you can simply say 90 minus 34 to get the answer straight away. That will be 56 degrees. Now we can now get the bearing of U from W to be 180 add 56. Okay, so 180 is for the red angle and then 56 is for the blue angle. So let me scroll down. So we can now say the bearing of U from W will be equals to 56 degrees add 180 degrees, and if you do that, that will give you 236 degrees. So that is how to get the bearing of U from W. So let's go to the next question. That is question 19a. On the diagram, sketch the graph of y equals to cos x for 0 degree less than or equals to x, and x is less than or equals to 360 degrees. So it is between this range. Okay, it is within this range. So what we need to do is that when x equals to 0, what will be the value of y? Okay, so we have y to be equals to cos 0, and this implies 1. Okay, if you do y equals to, let's say when x equals to 180 now, cos 180 degrees, so this implies -1, and of course for 360 it will be +1. So that means the first point will be here, okay, at x equals to 0, y equals to 1, and the second point will be x equals to 180, then y will be equals to -1. It will be down here, and another one will be when x equals to 360 degrees, we have the value of y to be 1. So this is what we need to do. We can easily do this. So that means it will come like this from here. It will enter this place, okay, and it will enter, sorry, that is a bad one. So then we have another one like this. It will come like this, then go up like this. So that is what you're going to get. Okay, it passed through 360 degrees and it will not go beyond 1 here. So that is what you need to do. Okay, so ensure that this does not go beyond this. Okay, I think you can adjust that a little bit. It should be like this. Okay, so you can easily connect the points together now. So you can draw the first one like this to 180 like this. So ensure that, so you can easily connect the 3 points together. So you should draw something like this. The first point is here, so you can draw something like this. It passes through 180 and it comes down like this up to this point. Then the other one should come like this. You draw it like this to come and meet this one here, and it goes up to this point here. Okay, so that's the rough sketch. Okay, so that is how to draw that. So let's go to 19b. Solve the equation 5 cos s plus 3 equals to 0 for 0 degree less than or equals to x and x less than or equals to 360 degrees. So it is within this range. So let's solve this. It will be 5 cos x to be equals to -3. So divide both sides by 5. You have cos x to be equals to -3 out of 5. You have cos x to be equals to -0.6. So from here you can take cos inverse of both sides. So cos inverse, we cancel cos, we are left with x, then equals to cos inverse of -0.6. So x will give us 126.9 degrees. So that is the value of x there. But we are within this range. We can also find the second value of this. So if you draw your quadrants, so all students take calculus, okay? So you already have 126 degrees somewhere around here, okay? So you have this. So we need to find the other value of cos where it is positive. So it will be around here. It will be from here then up to this line here, somewhere here. So that will be 360 subtract 126.9, because this will be 126.9. okay? So we have x to be equals to 360 degrees subtract 126.9, and the value of x will be equals to 233.1. So you have x to be equals to 126.9 degrees, or x equals to 233.1 degrees. So that is the solution to that question. So the next question is question 20. The table shows some values for y equals to 3x squared minus 2x minus 1. So complete this table. You can easily input this into your calculator and set the value from minus 1 to 1.5 and the step to be 0.5. So when you hit enter, so you get your values, your readings. So when x equals to minus 0.5, so the value of y will be 0.75, and when x equals to 0.5, the value of y will be negative 1.25. You can do that. Alternatively, you can work out this algebraically. You can key in the values here and work it out. That is y equals to 3 into bracket minus 0.5 squared minus 2 into bracket minus 0.5 then minus 1. But that will take your time. So since this is just a mark, you can input it in your calculator and you get your values straight away. So part B, on the grid, draw the graph of y equals to 3x squared minus 2x minus 1 for this given range. So what we need to do is to plot the values on this grid. Okay, so we have when x equals to minus 1, the value of y is equals to 4. So you come up here, you have a point up here. And when x equals to negative 0.5, so here the value of y is 0.75. That can be taken as 0.8. So it will be somewhere around here. Okay, so you take the next one. When x equals to 0, y is equals to negative 1. So the next point will be here. When x equals to 0.5, so y is equals to minus 1.2. So that can be approximated to minus 1.3. So you have minus 1.3 should be somewhere around here. We take this point here. Now we need to go down a little bit, I think by a step. So let's clean this. So you have minus 1.23 will be 1, 2, 3. So a point around here. So that is where you have the point. And when x equals to 1, y is equals to 0. So a point will be on this point here on the axis. And when x equals to 1.5, the value of y is 2.75. That will be 2.8. So we can go up a little bit, 2.8. So 2.8 will be somewhere around here. So now for you, you can take your French curve and link this point together. So for me, I'm going to sketch and show you the output. So this is the rough sketch of the graph or the parabola. So for you, you can make use of your French curve and that will give you a perfect curve. So by drawing a suitable straight line, solve the equation 3x squared minus 4x minus 2 equals to 0 for this given range. So what we need to do, we need to rewrite that so that it will fit in as this. So we have already drawn the graph of 3x squared minus 2x minus 1, that is 3x squared minus 2x minus 1. So, and that is equal, this is equals to y. So we can write this equation now in form of this, okay? So that means where we have minus 4x, we can split it to minus 2x minus 2x. And where we have minus 2, we can split it to minus 1 minus 1. So that means we're going to have from here now, we have 3x squared minus 2x minus 2x, that is minus 4x. Then minus 2 will be minus 1 equals to 0. So we'll try to get 3x squared minus 2x minus 1 here. So that is, I will take this, and this, I will leave them by the left hand side. So I will have 3x squared minus 2x minus 1, then equals to, then I will take this and this to the right hand side to be 0, add 2x, then add 1. Okay, so if you look at this, this is equal to y. So I will say y equals to, then 2x add 1. So this is the equation I'm going to do now. So already this curve is equals to y. Then I need to draw the straight line for 2x plus 1, and that will be the point of intersection will be the solution to this equation. So now you already know how to draw a straight line. So if you look at this, y equals to 2x plus 1, if you compare this with the general equation of a straight line, you see that y is equals to, if you compare this if you compare this with the general equation of a straight line, so you see that okay, we have y to be equals to mx plus c. That means m, which is the gradient, is equals to 2, which is same thing as 2 out of 1, and the intercept on y-axis, that will be c equals to positive 1. So that means we start from y equals to, that's the intercept on y-axis is 1, where x equals to 0 and y equals to 1. Then we start from there, then we move forward 2 times, and we move up once. So that is the gradient. Okay, so the first point will be here. This is the intercept on y-axis. Then we'll go up 2 times, we run 2 times, and we go up once. So that will be 2 times here. So the gradient is 2 over 1. So this one means change in y over change in x. So that means we go up 2 times and we move forward once. So starting from the intercept on y-axis, which is 1. So let's go up. So this is the intercept on y-axis, that is x equals to 0, y equals to 1. So we go up 2 times, we'll be here, and we move forward once, that will be here. Okay, so from the intercept on y-axis, that is at point x equals to 0, y equals to 1, this is the first point of the straight line. So we go up 2 times, we'll be here, and we'll move forward once, it will be here. So this will be another point. Okay, then the other one will be you go up 2 times, that will be the intercept on y-axis is this point here. So let's mark this. So from here we go up 2 times and we move forward once. So let's scroll up. So 2 steps will be here, and you move forward once, so it will be here. So that will be the next point. Okay, so these 2 points are enough for us to have the straight line. So we can now join them together by drawing a straight line. So let's do that. So that means from here we can connect these together and draw a straight line like this. Okay, so this point where the straight line touches the curve is the solution. So we need to find the value of this point here. if we trace this point here, the point of intersection, let's trace it to x here. So it's here. Okay, so we have the distance between 0 and minus 0.5 is 10. So if we divide it by 0.5 by 10, so we're going to get 0.5. That's the value of a line. So how many lines do you have here? You have 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means 0.5 times minus 8, because this is negative sign here. So this will give us minus 4 minus 0. So if we trace the point of intersection down here, so this will be the point, okay, on x-axis. That is about 8 lines. So we have 8 lines there. Okay, so the value of a line here is let's say 0.5 divided by 10. That will be 0.05. So this will be times 0.05. Of course, this is by the negative side, so the answer will be minus the product of these. That will be minus minus 0.40. So that's what we're going to get. So when you multiply 0.05 by 8, so we can go down and write our answer here. So x equals to minus 0.40. Yes, this is the last question. That's question 21. A curve has equation y equals to x to the power of 3 minus 12x. Find the gradient of the curve at the point x equals to 1, y equals to negative 1. So we know that, okay, x equals to 1 and y equals to negative 11 rather. Okay, so we have y to be equals to x to the power of 3 minus 12x. Okay, so the gradient will be the y dx, that is change in y and change in x. Okay, so that will be the y dx equals to, let's differentiate this, 3x squared minus 12. So the gradient will now be 3 into, let's key in the value of x, 1 squared. So let's write this to be 3. So let's key in the value of x, so to be 3 into 1 squared minus 12. So this will be 3 minus 12, and the gradient will be negative 9. Part B, find the coordinates of the turning point of the curve. So at turning point, the y, the s is equals to 0. So that means we can say that the y, the x equals to 0 at turning point, and already we found the y dx to be 3x squared minus 12. This is the y dx, and we can set it to 0. So if you solve this, we have 3x squared is equals to 0 plus 12. That will be 12. Let's divide both sides by 3. So we have x squared equals to 4. If we take square root of both sides, we have x to be equals to plus or minus 2. So we need to find the corresponding y value. So don't forget that we have y to be equals to, let's scroll up a little bit, y to be equals to x to the power of 3 minus 12x. So if you key in the values of x respectively, that is when x equals to 2 and when x equals to negative 2. So let's do the first one. So when x is equals to positive 2, so we have y to be equals to 2 to the power of 3 minus 12 into 2. So this will give us 8 subtract 24, and x will be equals to y will be equals to negative 16. So that means when x equals to 2, the corresponding value of y is equals to negative 16. So we need to do the same thing when x equals to negative 2. Okay, I think I can do it somewhere around here. So when x equals to negative 2, we have y to be equals to negative 2 to the power of 3 minus 12 into negative 2. So this will be equals to negative 2 to the power of 3 will be negative 8. Then negative 12 multiplied by negative 2, that will be positive 24. and we have the corresponding value of y to be 16. That implies that when x equals to -2, the corresponding value of y is equals to positive 16. So this will be the end of this solution. We are left with components 1, 1 and 1, 3. So have your fingers crossed.